Chapter 2, where a mission is completed. A while later, outside the mystery dungeon entrance, Officer Magnezone and a bunch of Magnemite arrived to arrest the three kidnappers. Cyndaquil, Railu and Voltorb were at full health again, and so was Mo. Nobori, Andra and Freezy. You are hereby arrested for bank robbery, 2 cases of vandalism, 3 attempted kidnappings and 1 successful kidnapping, said Officer Magnezone, sounding almost like the Voltorb. That Hitmonlee also sexually harassed me, added Mo. He knew that wasn't true, but he had a grudge on him and no one could prove him otherwise. That's not true, shouted Nobori. For that, one of the Magnemite gave him an electrical shock. You have the right to be silent. Everything that you say will be held against you in court, explained Officer Magnezone to them before being taken away by the Magnemite. Good job, Team Red. The bounty for them has been transferred to your bank account. We will leave the rest to you know. Magnezone then also left. So, Mo asked the trio, will you escort me home? I have no idea where we are right now. Of course. That's part of our job, answered Voltorb. The 4 started walking through the woods. It was already late in the afternoon and the sun was slowly setting. The air was clear and very warm. I wanted to thank you again for saving me. I always thought I knew how to stay safe, said Mo. Now I just want to go home. And did Aaron send you? A Sylveon? He is waiting for you at his house, answered the Railu. He found the letter attached to his door and came right to us. Before we forget, we also get a reward for saving you, added Voltorb. Did he say that I'll pay? Guessed Mo. Well, yes, answered Cyndaquil. How much? 200 PD, answered Cyndaquil again. Still better than the ransom. How rude of us, realized the Railu. We haven't introduced us. My name is Amy. She pointed to the Cyndaquil. This is my partner Axel. She started petting the Voltorb, which seemed to annoy it. And that is Steve. Okay, said Mo. Right, no, he only cared about getting home. Some time went by and the group was walking through the woods. You don't talk so much, do you? Amy said to Mo. I'm not the Mimikyu who likes to talk. Also, I'm very tired. You can guess this was a long day for me. And I think days like this are normal for your. Our life is never normal, answered Axel. But in the end, it is good to help other Pokémon, added Amy. It was always my dream to become an adventurer. What do you need to become an adventurer? I never really had contact to the Adventurer Guild, explained Mo. All you need is the will to become one, a free space in the guild and your signature on a contract that says, you or your bereaved will not sue the guild in cases of trauma, crippling or death, answered Steve in a neutral tone. Payment is alright and we can take vacations whenever we want. Okay, said Mo, unsure. I saw you fighting that garish eyes. What do you think of joining the guild? Asked Axel. No, thank you, but no, answered Mo, shaking his head. I'm not into this stuff. I like to spend my day in peace and quiet. Also, I don't think it is so easy getting in. Plus, do you even have a free place for one? There actually is, answered Axel. 2 places for 1 team. We already have 1 waiting for a new member. You have to be a team of at least 2. If you don't have a partner, we either give you 1 or you wait for someone, explained Amy. But still no, said Mo. Thank you. The rest of the way went on very quiet. Mo made clear that he was not interested and just wanted to end this day as soon as possible. Started with increasing his average walking speed. Sometimes later they arrived at Mo's hometown, Barham Town. The sun was setting and the wind blew softly, making the sails of the town's many windmills slowly rotate. There weren't much Pokémon around this time of day anymore. Most shops were closed or about to close. Despite Mo's offer to go home by himself now, because he saw no need to be escorted anymore, the adventurer team insisted in bringing him to his friend first. Because that's way adventurer teams do, and because Aaron still had to pay them for their successful job. Mo led them to an old-looking house in the suburban of Barham Town. It wasn't a house someone would guess a fairy Pokémon would live. Mo knocked on the old wooden door. "Aaron? Are you home? It's me." No response. "Aaron?" "I'm fine." Mo turned to the others. "I'm afraid he's not home." Again. The door suddenly opened. This startled Mo a bit. A Sylveon with a surprised look on his face and piece of his ear in form of a bite mark missing appeared behind it. "Mo!" called the Sylveon, almost jumped to the smaller Mimikyu and hugged him with his ribbons, squeezing some of his body from underneath his disguise. "I'm so happy you're all right." Mo was not comfortable with being hugged by him. At least in front of stranger. "He found the letter attached to his door and came right to us," explained Amy. Aaron released Mo from his hug and turned to the adventurer team. "Thank you so much. You don't believe how important he is to me." "How can I ever thank you?" "All we need is our promised payment," answered Steve. Aaron quickly went inside his house and came back with a bag of money shortly after. He gave the bag to Axel and wished them goodbye as adventurer team Red went their way. Mo then turned to Aaron. "Aaron, was that your money?" "Well," answered Aaron with a sad face, "I don't have much right now. So I went to your house and borrowed some of your money. I promise I'll give it back when I have it." Mo knew it. He also knew that he was lying. He never saw his money again of 9 of 10 cases. Aaron had problems holding a job. Every 2 months he was working somewhere else. Some Pokémon said Aaron was a little crazy. They said Aaron doesn't know what he actually wants. These Pokémon were right. Aaron got made the scar on his ear himself. He thought it looked cool. Sometimes Mo hated it to be friends with him. But then again, Aaron was his only friend and they both were actually not so different after all. "I just happened," Mo always said about their friendship. "It's all right," answered Mo, still knowing that he would never see his 200 PM again. "You can give it back later." "How was it?" asked Aaron and lay down to look him in the eyes. "Do you want to talk about it?" "No really. The ones who took me were 3 idiots who then got bitten up by that adventurer team. I also did my part in the fight." "Oh," answered Aaron to it in a tone he didn't know was actual surprise or acted surprise. But that's how Aaron was. "Can you give me a favor and bring me home? I'm tired," Mo then said. "Of course," Aaron answered. Mo jumped on Aaron's back, who then started walking. It was nice to relax a little now after all that tension. He could feel Aaron's fur underneath him. They were soft and warm and reminded him again why they were friends. After some time Aaron asked again, "Are you sure you are all right? Did they hurt you?" "They tried to," Mo answered. "I'm just thinking about something. That's all. Don't worry." Some time passed. They were almost at Mo's house. Mo then broke the silence. "Where do you work right now? Still on that construction site?" "Yes. It's very stressful for me. I arrived later than usual because of your kidnapping. My boss sure was angry. But I had to report," Aaron responded in a bothered tone. "You're right," said Mo. Aaron somehow always managed to get a job where his boss seemed to be an embittered person. This was one of the stories Aaron told that Mo knew were true. They arrived at Mo's house. It was on the other side of the Barham Town suburban and looked almost like Aaron's house. Just not that old and also a little smaller. Mo climbed off Aaron's back. "So," said Mo, "breakfast again at my place? At 9? "Sure," answered Aaron happily. They wished each other a good night and goodbye as Mo closed his door behind him and Aaron went his way. It was almost night now. There were no lights on. No one was here except for him. Mo started looking all around his house for missing objects. Aaron took some of his money. What if he took a little bit more while he was gone? Aaron never did steal anything from him. Before, at least Mo never noticed. But for Mo, it was still possible for this to happen. He found nothing that was missing. Good.